What's good, family? It's your boy Tim back at it again with another vid. And today we are currently outside chilling with the spider. I named him Peter. Peter Parker, Spider Man. Anyways, yeah, me and him chilling right now. Just chilling in the middle of his web right now. I'm just chilling right here. As long as he keep the distance, we should be cooling. All right. So today, uh, we got a little small little message. Or it should be a lengthy one. As far as like the reading goes, as far as what I'm saying, I don't know. I know it's gonna be a little short, but yeah. Today we speaking on confidence. What I mean, confidence over your fears, confidence in God, and then something to kind of add on to it, like having boldness in your prayer, in your praying, right? So we're gonna speak on those few things. Uh, and yeah, yeah, I'm gonna try to move as quickly as possible because yeah, my laptop about to die. But no, I think we should be good though because it's not that many verses, and I got them open already. I'm not searching for them, so we should be Gucci. But anyways, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share it with all your people, share it with your neighbor, your coworker, what I mean, your brother, your sister, everybody, bro. For real, Uh, but yeah. Let's go ahead and get it on popping. So yeah, confidence. Confidence over your fears, like having the confidence to face your fears, but then also overcome them. Uh, uh, yeah. So for that, we're coming from Second Timothy chapter 1, verse 6 through 8, right? And I got it open already, so we don't really need to be, what I mean, typing it in. All right, bet cool. We're gonna start with 6. For this reason, I remind you For this reason, I remind you to fan into flame the gift of God, which is in you through the laying on of my hands. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self control. Right. So, oh, my bad. Another thing I want to speak on too. I'm kind of one thing that I learned to do uh, as I am doing these messages, but then I'm also following people who do messages also. Uh, Really, I shouldn't, or I'm not gonna say I shouldn't, but I learned to study in multiple uh, versions, right? So like I've been in the NIV for the longest, right? For most of this little message, I'm doing ESV version just so I can kind of see if there are new perspectives, and I still read them in both, yeah, but just to see if I can try to find a different perspective in another translation to kind of yeah. So yeah, most of this we're gonna be doing ESV. So yeah, I'm gonna read it again. For this reason, I remind you to fan into flame the gift of God, which is in you through the laying on of my hands. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. Right? If it's and to speak on that, if it's a uh, if there's a goal, let's just say that if there's a goal in your life, right, or if there's a goal that you're trying to hit in something, right, or if there's a dream that you have, like you want to be a football player, you want to be a doctor, what I mean, you want to be uh uh what's something that's like, oh, that's a squirrel. Anyways, yeah, you want to be whatever you want to be, you feel me, but you're having self-doubts about, what I mean, about you fulfilling that, right? Trying to give an example, yeah, so like, let's just say, well, I kind of had this back in the day, so I'll go ahead and speak on that. So yeah, I'm gonna give an example of how I see this, right? So like me back in the day, right? Back when we we were already pretty established as far as a group, like singing and everything like that. But I don't even remember what time. I know I was still in school, but anyways, yeah. So this was around the time where I was like, yeah, I was speaking on trying to do music, right? I mean, I've been saying that to y'all, so I know, you know what I mean. But this was around the time where I had gained the inspiration to dang to make music, right? And I was like, bro, if they could do it, I could do it too. You know what I mean? But the self doubt kind of got me. You know what I mean? The things like performing kind of got to me. Things like actually making a full song, you know, kind of got to me. You know what I mean? Inexperience kind of does that to me. I'm not gonna lie. If I'm not experienced in something, but I have to do it, I get a little anxious. You know what I mean? Uh, because I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? There's no instructions, right? Um, but yeah, the self doubt came in. The tweaking right now, but yeah. So yeah, the self doubt came in, and I ain't even gonna lie to you. I almost didn't pursue that, or for the longest amount of time, I just with that self doubt, I just kind of been at a how can I say this? I kind of been at a how can I stand still? Right. I kind of been at a standstill, meaning for the longest time, I just been dwelling on the fact that oh yeah, I could do this, I could do that, but I would never fully commit to it. Right. My confidence was at all time low. You feel me? You know. So when I say having confidence over your fears, first off, having the confidence to face your fears, but then also having the confidence to overcome your fear. Right. So what it means by for this reason I remind you to fan into flame the gift of God which is in you through the laying on of my hands. For God gave us a spirit not of fear but of power and love and self control. Right. So dang, I had a whole process of how I was gonna go, and I'm going blank. Hold on, come on. Oh, so back when you are born, or really, let me say it like this. Nah, let me say it the other way. When you are born with the gift, right? Whether that's singing, whether that's helping people, whether that's hospitality, whether that's speaking, you know what I mean, any type of gift that you're born with, right? You know what I mean? Well, you can. Oh, dang, huh? Okay, so yeah, whatever gift you are born with, right? Basically, what it's saying is you should basically use it, bro. Like you should basically pour into it. That's what I meant to say. Pour into it. Like I said, if you a singer, I mean, yeah, well, yeah. If you're a singer, if you somebody that enjoys singing, if you somebody that enjoy music, you should pour into it. You know what I mean? Whether that's in whether that's in a ministry, whether that's uh like in real life, like the actual like music industry. You know what I mean? You know, as long as you use the gift, as long as you use your gift of God for God. I came up with that off the dome. That's crazy. But yeah, anyways, um, yeah, but having the confidence to do so, bro. Yeah, I ain't even gonna lie to you. And this is not even just like with every single, with every single career choice, you know what I mean? It's gonna be some self doubt, bro. Like if you know you got school, which is another thing that I was intimidated by back then, if you know you have a lot of schooling to be able to get to a certain point, that's very intimidating, right? For some. And it could cause doubts, right? Right. But if you know you have a gift in that department, that should first off, that in itself should, should kind of dang, should kind of be over that, right? Because if you know you good at something, bro, why you doubting yourself, right? Why you know what I mean? Uh uh Yeah, but then also knowing that God has blessed you with that gift and that God is already with you during that time, your confidence should be at an all time high. You know what I mean? even when things go wrong, right? You should know, okay, bet God got me. This ain't the end, right? So it's kind of like some type of form of uh, like invincibility, if you think about it. For those of y'all who don't know what that means, that's basically like, you basically don't take no damage at all, right? When somebody tells you, or when somebody calls you invincible, that means you can't get hurt, basically. So it's basically some form of that, because of the fact that you have the confidence to basically get through any of your fears, and you're basically impervious to those fears, right? So yeah, moving on, because God did not give us the spirit of fear, but of power and love and self-control, right? Factual. Oh, I think I would. Anyways, yeah. So this is confidence in God, right? This section is confidence in God. Uh, and we coming once again still in the ESV version, but we coming from the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 4 through 7, and then verse 10 through 13. That's a bit. Got the slide right here. Let me check. Is this the right one? Yep, cool. Bet. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice. Let your reasonableness be known to everyone. The Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. I think I spoke on this already. I think, this specific verse, I think, yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, I was talking about faith when it came to these. Anyways, yeah. So so it says, do not be anxious about everything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus, right? So you might not be. So basically, what it's saying is, in this sense, in this whole situation, right, is your mind, your whole process, what you might be thinking is, oh, yeah, I mean, I could sing, right? Yeah, I could sing, but to perform in front of all those people, man, that's like, oh my gosh, that's like overwhelming, right? Oh, yeah, I could sing. Like, God gave me the gift to sing, but like, I'm intimidated by all these people that are working in this, you know what I mean? Because they're moving kind of, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you might be having those thoughts of it, but when you when you are, how can I say this? So with these self doubts, cool. With these self doubts, you should automatically, if you know that's the road that you want to take, right? You should automatically be, on your knees and praying, right? And with these things coming to you, yeah, yeah. If you know you're having these self doubts, right? If you know you're having, if your confidence is at an all time low, you should like be on your knees praying, right? This is kind of why I kind of tied the boldness in prayer with this, because it's like, yeah, I could keep saying like confidence, 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 have confidence in yourself, but like if it's at an all time low, you're not gonna find that you're not gonna find that on your lonely, right? That's but you don't want it to get to that point, right? But which is why I say confidence in God, right? And then have the boldness with prayer, because it's like, because it's like, once it gets to that point, if it gets to that point, and even then, going into a career, whether it's being a doctor, or whether it's being in music, right? You should be praying to God anyways, right? Because it's like, because you as a believer should know, okay, bet, cool, I'm going down the path that I don't see fully through, or I read that wrong, or I said that wrong. I'm going down a path that I want to go down, and I want God with me to point me in the right direction, right? To do that, right? So you should already be on that type of timing. But if it does, I'm saying if it does get to a point to where it's like, oh, bro, maybe I went the wrong way, maybe this wasn't the right choice for me. It was, bro. You just gotta, chillax. You know what I mean? Cause and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. So even though you might not understand, right? You feel me? So yeah, we're gonna move on. So having the confidence in God to get you through these things, right? I think I spoke on this already. I might be wrong. I think this had to, I don't know. I might have to look back. But yeah, so having the confidence in God to get you through certain situations, or having the confidence in God to be able to pray to him, to be able to, go through these to go um to pursue whatever career or whatever your goal is in life. Feel me? Right? Oh, well, actually, I spoke on. Yeah, I don't think we need to. Well, I'll just read it just in case. Oh yeah, definitely. So bet this is just kind of add on to what I was just saying. Bet. So this is Philippians chapter 4, verse 10 through 13, just to kind of add on what I was just speaking on, right? So bet starting from 10. I rejoiced in the Lord greatly that now at length you have revived your concern for me. You were indeed concerned for me, but you had no opportunity. Not that I am speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. I know, oh, I know how to be brought low, and I know how to abound in any and every circumstance. I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance, and in need. I can do all things through him who strengthens me, right? So, like I said, in any type of really, 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 in any dang, whether it's a career change or whether you're actually pursuing a career, right? Or anything that you're having self doubts about, right? You should just go in with this verse, right? You know what I mean? If you go into any situation that you might be fearful of it, and you might be just walk in, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, right? So when you say that, you want to fully believe that too, because it's like you go in with that, you fool around to do your little speech. That was another thing that bro, them school presentations that we had to do, where we had to like a group, where we had like them group projects that we had to present towards the class, bro. I should have been saying that back then. I ain't even gonna lie to you. When we first started singing, I should have been saying that. I'm not gonna lie to you, but you get what I'm saying, right? Going into these things saying, yeah, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, right? And so it's like, matter of fact, I should have used it on the way back to the turtle shell spot that I couldn't even get to. But yeah, you know, those first few times that I had tried to go, because at first I was, tired and everything like that, and I had to turn back. I should have been like, oh nah, I can make it, because it's like I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, right? And I still have, anyways. But you get what I'm saying, though, right? It's like going into different situations in life and having this on your mind. Instead of your confidence being low, it should be through the roof, bro. Because you know, you know, right? So yeah, and like I said, this is just kind of adding on to it. This part is called boldness in prayer, and I'm gonna go back to the NIV, but it doesn't even have to be in situations to where your confidence is low or you just need a little boost. But to have boldness in prayer, right? To be bold in your prayer, right? That's what we speaking on, right? So we're gonna come from, well, we're gonna be in NIV version, but then also we're coming from the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 14 through 16. Verse 14 through 6. Okay, that cool. So that starting from 14. Therefore, since we have a great high priest who has ascended into heaven, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold firmly to the faith we profess. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. Right? I think I was speaking on, because I think I would, anyways. Yeah. So the same way with faith, right? On how in any type of situation we should already have the faith, or we should already have faith in God that everything is going to be all right, right? The same way with this, the same thing with faith, the same thing with your confidence, right? You, when you go down on your knees and you pray, you should automatically in your mind, you should already be thinking, even during the prayer, even before you start the prayer, that it is finished, it's done. You know what I mean? Whatever you speaking on, whatever you need, it's gonna be cool, right? So when you're going into these new uh when you're, I guess, yeah, if you're going into these new paths in life, right? And it's getting to a point to where you don't really know where to go, right? Having that boldness, having that confidence in prayer, you know what I mean? Or having that, no, having that confidence in God to get you through everything, right? You know what I mean? If you, like I said, when it comes to faith, if you have faith in God that everything is going to be all right, then you going into prayer should kind of add on to that. Should kind of be like, okay, bet, cool. You know what I mean? God, I'm trusting you. I'm trusting in you to get me through this situation. And you know what I mean? I just need a little help. You know what I mean? I just need a little help. Um, I just need a little help getting my confidence back to, and these are just examples, I need help getting my confidence back to or getting my inspiration back, or getting my motivation back, right? That was a prayer that I had to have too, during that um standstill part of my life, right? That was a prayer that I needed to do too, right? Uh, God, give me the motivation to continue going, to continue my career, right? Uh, That's what it means by let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need, right? When you pray, you should already have that mindset that everything is going to be all right. Basically what I'm saying is, when you have, that's what faith is talking about, um having the faith in God that everything, I said that already. I keep saying that too, but yeah, yeah, yeah. So when you pray, you should be praying boldly, right? You shouldn't be praying timidly, or you shouldn't be praying and then after you get done praying, it's like, oh, I hope everything uh is all right after that. Like, nah, you should in that prayer with, all right, bet, cool, it's done. I'm cooling. All I got to do is wait, have patience, and it's gonna be finished. That's it. You know what I mean? Right? So if you having doubts about, you know, oh, that date coming up, what I mean, I gotta sing on that stage, bro, and it's gonna be a lot of people, and you go down on your knees, you say, God, please give me the confidence to get me through this situation, be my mind, so that I can uh, uh, be my mind, so that I could memorize all these words, so I can know when the music changes, so I know, you know, and then you'll be so confident in that song, right? You'll be so, yeah, you'll be so, yeah, I guess I can say it like that. you'll be so confident in that song, right? You'll be so confident in your voice and your mind to know that, everything is going to be all right, that you might fool around and just pop out on everybody, bro. Just, you might fool around and sing that song to the best of your ability, and it'll probably be better, or it will be better than the actual artist singing it, right? That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So yeah, yeah, that's enough examples. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I think that was all my points. Yep. Yeah. So just in any situation, I know I'm speaking on music, but in any type of situation, right? You know, uh, yeah, just having that confidence in God. Having that confidence in God that everything is gonna be all right, right? And then having the bold, and then being bold in your prayer, right? Or being confident in your prayer, so that you know what I mean, so that you know and so that you're automatically on the timing of everything is going to be all right, and then over your fears, right? Like this spider I'm looking at, you way over there, gang. Like, no, I'm playing, we cool. But anyways, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of this day. It's hot, I'm sweating, uh crazy. But yeah, I should probably be outside tomorrow then. It's been a little minute, I ain't gonna lie. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Enjoy the rest of this day. Y'all make sure y'all do too. Peace.